As promised in my spoiler-free review of Birds of Prey, I said I wanted to come back and make a spoiler-filled discussion with you all, and that's exactly what we're doing today. We're talking all things Birds of Prey. We're spoiling it. We're breaking it down. We're having a discussion. We're talking Easter eggs. We're talking post-credit scenes and what's to come for this franchise. We're talking about that and much more. What's going on, everybody? Elliot here from Movie Files, talking all things Birds of Prey in this spoiler discussion. But before we dive into it, for those that are new to this channel, definitely consider subscribing. Hit that bell so you can stay up to date with my latest videos. And since we're talking spoilers, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Your pros, your cons. What do you hope to see for Birds of Prey? Do you want to see a sequel? Do you want to see a spinoff? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So before we dive into it, for those that are kind of new to this channel, how do I handle spoiler reviews? So I like to kind of use these videos as more of a discussion piece. Yes, I'm going to touch on some topics that I kind of wrote down in my notes here, but I really just want to have an open dialogue with you all about how I felt about the film, what I hope to see in the future and things of that nature, but I also really want to get you all's thoughts in the comments below. So before we kind of kick off my thoughts about the movie, I'm pre-recording this. This film came out on Friday. I saw it Thursday night. The box office numbers as it stands Saturday night isn't looking too hot. Now, if you all follow me on Instagram, which if you're not, definitely do so. It's in the description below as far as my links for social medias. You know, I do this segment on Instagram. I've been doing it for about a year. It's a really fun post. I do a thing called Movie Files Movie Scorecard, and that's where I kind of make a little template of what do you think the film's going to do opening weekend? What do you think the critics are going to say? What do you think the audience is going to say? And what do you think your score is going to be once you've seen the film? So it's a really cool post, and if you look at the post, you see my prediction. So I thought that the film was going to do somewhere close to like 68, 70 mil. The audience score is actually higher than what I anticipated. The critic score is higher as well. And the prediction as far as my score, what I thought the film was going to do for my personal taste, it was pretty close. But the biggest thing was that box office, you know. There's many factors to reason why some movies work and some don't. I thought this film was going to do a little bit better, kind of like they're in the realm of like Shazam a little bit in regards to the box office. And who knows, you know, this film, and I think it will have legs just due to the good word of mouth. I think this movie, you know, next weekend being a holiday or a love holiday for Valentine's Day, couples going out to seeing films. I think that's a big one. And then also there's really not a big film coming out for another month or so. So I think this film will have longevity, and hopefully those opening weekend numbers won't be as glaring because it's going to have longer legs. But we'll see. Let me know your thoughts in the comments of why you think this film didn't do so well opening weekend. Was it due to the title? You know, it's a very long, interesting title. And for those people that aren't as locked into this community, this movie community, this nerd films and things of that nature, DC, Marvel, Star Wars, stuff like that, they might have never heard of Birds of Prey and didn't have a clue of what it was. No matter if they saw a trailer or not, they might have been confused by that. But I think one of the biggest things was that title, man, was just kind of, they should just simply, and it's not, this isn't a fresh idea for me, I'm just agreeing with a lot of people online, they should just simply call it Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey versus Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. So let me know why you all thought that this film didn't do as hot opening weekend, but like I said, I think it's going to do pretty well as far as longevity and long legs for this film, especially when it comes out on home release. But anyway, with that being said, let's just jump right into this discussion for the actual film. So first and foremost, one of the things I want to talk about was how the film started, and that was we get an animated segment to open up the film. Now, I haven't personally watched the animated Harley Quinn show on the DC app, but I've heard some really great things about it. But I've seen a fair share of Harley Quinn characters and movies and spin-offs that she's been in, and I kind of love that the film decided to open the film in that matter. It gave us something that we've never seen on the big screen in regards to Harley Quinn for the first time we saw her, you know, 4 years ago in Suicide Squad, which was, we got an origin story. We got a bit of it. It was short and sweet, but it was something that we've never gotten before on the big screen. And we learned a little bit about her as a kid, how she was raised. You know, we learned a little bit about her past relationships, potentially hinting and nodding at a relationship that a lot of us fans have been hoping to see, and hopefully we'll get it sooner rather than later. And that is her romantic relationship and friendship with Poison Ivy. So I kind of like that nod there. But again, I kind of like how the film, just from the first, minute or two, you kind of know that this is going to be a wacky, fun, interesting take on these characters that we've seen before, like Harley Quinn, but also introducing the Birds of Prey. So I really like that kind of moment there. Let me know what you all thought of that animated moment, and what did you think about the kind of the reveals of potentially her relationships with, Poison Ivy and things of that nature. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. So one of the other big things that we find out pretty quickly in the film is, Harley is heartbroken. We saw that from the trailers, the synopsis, and things of that nature that we've read, that, her and the Joker are no longer a thing. And this film really kind of focuses on that in the first half hour, first act of the film, really how Harley is handling that, how she hasn't really told people that she's broken up with the Joker. She's still kind of using that as a way to get into clubs like Roman's Club and kind of have pull weight within the Gotham streets. But I kind of like that moment there, because also what that moment kind of solidifies is that, as we know, the Joker and Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad, they're no longer going to be partners anymore. And I think either Kathy Yen or someone pretty high up in the film, might have been Margot Robbie, they've said that the Joker and Harley aren't going to be a thing anymore. So it's very interesting to see how that kind of plays out in future films. Will they ever recast the Joker? Because we know something that this film did and kind of addressed was, what are they going to do about Jared Leto? As we all know, kind of behind the scenes, or if you might not know, Jared Leto, Warner Brothers, Joker, I don't think we're ever going to see him suited up as that character again. Personally, just letting you all know what I thought about him in Suicide Squad. I thought he was fine. It was his take. It was an interesting take. Him and David Ayer kind of tried to create a different kind of version from the Heath Ledger, from the Jack Nicholson, from the other previous Jokers that we've seen before. And for some people it worked, some people it didn't. Like I said, I was just okay with it. I didn't think he got that much to do with the character. Here are all the crazy things that he did to kind of, he's a method actor, so he was giving people condoms and dead rats and just crazy stuff. So, but nevertheless, a lot of people kind of have watched that Joker out of their head, and they're just loving what Joaquin Phoenix, like myself, did earlier or last year in his version of Joker. So I think, with that opening moment with Harley Quinn blowing up Ace Chemicals, calling herself single and officially letting herself go to the Joker, I think this is the last time we're going to see this version of Harley Quinn ever being partner up with the Joker again. It'll be interesting to see if we get, in the future with the Flash movie, if they have like parallel worlds and we get the multiverse within the DC universe, we see Harley with Joker, with a new cast member playing, or a new actor playing Joker. So it'll be really interesting to see how that plays out. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you happy to see Jared Leto and Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn being separated officially to this capacity? Or are you a little let down that you won't be able to see Jared Leto in the makeup and playing the Joker again? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So, again, one of the things about this film was that was the introduction to these badass women in the Birds of Prey. And if you watch my non-spoiler review, one of my negatives was I wish we would have gotten more from the Birds of Prey. This was definitely a Harley Quinn movie, and I enjoyed it for what it was, but I would have liked to gotten more with Black Canary, with, Huntress and those characters like that. So speaking of Black Canary, one of the things that I liked that Kathleen Yen did throw into the mix was she did throw in some Easter eggs from the comics. So we find out, pretty early in the film when we meet Black Canary and Laurel Lance, that her mother was, took the mantle of Black Canary, and that she was potentially a JLA character and a member in helping, the streets of Gotham stay clean. Because it seems like this particular version that we got in this film, there really wasn't that many communications or nods or hints towards Batman being in Gotham, and we'll talk about Gotham in a little bit, but I like that kind of nod that shows that, her mother was the Black Canary at first. And again, I like when movies, they don't necessarily have to adapt the comic, but they show appreciation to where these characters came from. So I like that moment there. Speaking of another big member of Birds of Prey, and that's Huntress, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead. So if you saw my review, she was one of my favorite characters. I didn't think that we got enough of her. I thought she was awesome. I love the dry comedy that she had, delivery, the badassness that she had. I wish we would have gotten more from the character. Hopefully we see her pop up in other films, spin-off movie or whatnot. Kind of reminded me a little bit of Kill Bill vibes at times. I really enjoyed that character. And I thought that she nailed the role, and I just love her as an actress. But Huntress was a really awesome character. you know, a very comic book accurate depiction of what happened to her and her family and her upbringing and her rage and her revenge story. I thought that her arc was one of the more, you know, more structured versions or more structured acts in the entire film. Again, I love the wackiness and how the story was being told, but Huntress really had a more of a kind of like, you know, not to the level, but if you remember, like jumping to DC and Marvel, her storyline kind of reminded me of T'Challa's storyline in Civil War, where he just had a straight, you know, we had Captain America, we have Bucky, we have the government's Sokovia Accords. But Black Panther, man, he didn't care about any of that. He had a goal. He wanted to take out the Winter Soldier, and he had his own path. And I kind of like that. I kind of compare that to the Huntress, where she, you know, you had all this wacky stuff going on with Roman, Black Mass, you know, the Harley and everything going on with the Diamond. But the Huntress, she just had a goal, a mission, and she just stuck to it. So I love the character, and I really, really hope that we get more from her character. And I like that, you know, one of the running jokes throughout the film with Huntress was they called her the crossbow killer. I kind of like that running joke that we got in the film. And again, she had her lines and her delivery, her comedic chops were great. I love, again, I can't speak highly enough about Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I really do hope that we see her in more future films playing this awesome character. So again, going back to this discussion and other characters in the film, you know, one of my negatives, or not really negatives, but one of the things I was kind of 50-50 on, I'm still kind of thinking about it and processing the Black Mask character, played beautifully by Ewan McGregor. You could tell he's having fun as the character. He's never played a character like this before, and he's having a blast. And I really appreciate when actors take a role, do something different, put their own spin to it. And this is definitely the most different out there version of Black Mask I've ever seen from either the comics, animated movies I've seen, video game depictions of the character. Very different version of him. And the thing that I'm kind of stuck on, the things I really didn't like about the character, was the first half of the film kind of shows you why he's, you know, he's a narcissist, what makes him tick. You know, you have the scene at the bar when he has the girl at the table, how he treats Black Canary, how he treats, you know, the people around him. And, you know, it was like, okay, this is a very interesting character, very bigger than life type of character. But then the thing that kind of was like I don't know how I felt about it was the switch of tone, how he was just very kind of one-note character, and once he became the Black Mask and he put on the mask, I really wish we would have saw more of that version of Roman, as far as him being, you know, I didn't really find him that intimidating to be, you know, what we got him, or what the film was trying to make him be towards the end of the movie. So, and also one of the things I really don't like what they did with Ewan McGregor was they killed him off, man. Like, I would love to kind of see that character grow, see him interact with other people of Gotham, which we'll talk about here after this. But, you know, I really wish they didn't kill him. I wish they didn't kill Victor. I would have liked to have seen these characters within these future films, in a Gotham Sirens, in a Harley Quinn solo film, in a Birds of Prey 2 film, potentially making his way into a Batman film. Who knows? But, you know, again, I know that going back to what Kathy Yen said, that this is kind of a parallel universe. So who knows that we might see Ewan McGregor in another multiverse from The Flash playing Black Mask, you know? So who knows? But I was just very kind of disappointed they killed him off. The moment was cool, but I just wish the character was still alive. But, you know, speaking of Gotham, you know, we've spoken about Gotham a couple times, but now as far as, I didn't talk about it in my review, my spoiler review or non-spoiler review, but Gotham was okay. I thought that the night version, you know, the dark and creepy, when we at the carnival scene, that was like the Gotham, like, oh man, this Gotham is somewhere you don't want to visit. But like the daytime scenes of Gotham, it didn't really have that much character to me. I wish we would have got more from the scope and the landscape and kind of the politics of Gotham in the film. And that's, you know, I know the film wasn't about exploring Gotham, but I would have liked to have seen more from the city and see it having more life. But let me know what you all thought of this version of Gotham City in the comments below. So other things that I thought was kind of interesting about the film was, you know, that a couple months ago, I love movie news. As you all might know, I do Instagram lives at least once or twice a week, and I talk about the news, whether it be casting news, posters, trailers, things of that nature. But I remember about 6 months ago, it was a leaked script or a leaked kind of plot point about this film, stating that Black Mask had this diamond, and that, you know, the diamond's taken and it has like nudes on it. So that leak of the script was somewhat accurate. Obviously, we know from the film that that diamond did play a big part to the movie. You know, the Black Mass wanted it because it had the most richest families, financial stuff on it, and so those were kind of interesting. That leak was pretty accurate in the sense of the movie, the MacGuffin, if you want to call it that, a film, was this diamond and information that was on there, and it played a pretty critical role of the film. So I thought that was really interesting. And on that topic, kind of how these scripts get leaked and how things get out early. Let me know if you all like that part of the script and how things kind of played out. I personally enjoyed the way that they told the story and how the Birds of Prey came together and how they were all kind of connected in a sense and how it all played out. So I liked it, but let me know what you all thought of that kind of MacGuffin of that diamond and what was on there and how it was kind of a really big part of the film. So another thing that we got within this film that I thought was really interesting, going back to the connection of previous films in the DC universe as far as Suicide Squad, as we kind of talked about, that this version of Harley Quinn interacted with the Suicide Squad from 2016, David Ayer's version or film. You know, we get the nod towards Jared Leto, but we also get a very cool Easter egg. If you all remember that scene where Harley Quinn kind of played a little bit of an homage to Terminator with Arnold Schwarzenegger when he goes to look for Sarah Connor and he, you know, goes to the police station. That was very kind of reminiscent, but it was Harley Quinn's version of that where she goes and shoots the police officer and looks for, you know, the diamond, you know, looks for the girl there. So the kid. So I like that moment, but in the midst of that scene, you see that she sees a wanted poster of Captain Boomerang, which is, again, pays another homage, pays another kind of a tilt of the hat to the Suicide Squad. So we all know, if you don't know, you know, Captain Boomerang will be in James Gunn's version of Suicide Squad, which this film, the cast is great. I love James Gunn. I'm really intrigued to see what's going to go down as far as is it going to be Harley Quinn from this version of the Birds of Prey? Will it be his own interpretation of the character? Very excited to see the first trailer is coming out next year. But again, I thought that was cool that Kathleen did say, you know, put a little Easter egg for fans of Captain Boomerang, which I like Courtney's character, his portrayal of Captain Boomerang. But I thought that was pretty cool there. So, you know, we get other things from the comics. Again, we talked about Black Canary, but we got the Canary Cry in this film. You know, I talked about the send-off to what we get with Black Mass. But another thing that we kind of get as I kind of wrap up this discussion, and again, I appreciate you all watching this review. If you haven't already, definitely subscribe, hit that bell, stay up to date with my content, and again, comment below with your thoughts. But as we wrap up the film, we see a very different take on Harley Quinn. We see her with Cassandra Cain and being a duo, and they're working together. Very different, taken away from the comics in regards to Cassandra Cain being kind of the predecessor of Batgirl, but now she's taking a different path. So it'll be really interesting to see if they continue that particular storyline and see if she becomes a protege of Harley Quinn, if she becomes an anti-hero, or if she kind of sees the things that Harley does and doesn't like it, you know, and becomes, you know, this is kind of a different origin story. And we might, you know, next time we see her, she's a teenager and she doesn't want to continue to live a life of crime. So very different take for the character, but interesting take for the character. And I'm very excited to see what they do with that particular storyline if they continue that in future movies. So as we kind of discussed up top, talking about post-credit scenes, the film had one. You know, I had a fun time with it. I'm not one to just be like, they better have a post-credit scene to lead to another movie or to a sequel or whatnot, but I just had a fun time with it, with Harley Quinn saying, you know, what does she say as I wrote down? She says that, you know, I have to tell you a secret about Batman, and it just kind of cuts off. You know, I would assume that she was alluding to she might know the identity of Batman. She might have said, you know, F Batman, whatever the case may be, but a little fun little Easter egg or reference to Batman at that moment. But anyway, you know, again, overall, I really had a good time with the film. I hope that it does find its legs in regards to the box office, because I would like to see a Birds of Prey 2. And in that Birds of Prey 2, I would like to see more of the Birds of Prey and focusing on Huntress and Black Canary and Cassandra Cain and everyone that we got there. But also, if we do get a Birds of Prey 2, will we see Harley Quinn back in the mix? And a lot of people are speculating and wanting to see Harley Quinn and the Gotham Sirens versus the Birds of Prey. So very bright future for these characters. I'm really enjoying what the DC Warner Brothers creatives are doing thus far, as they tried to do the Justice League, and it didn't really work out financially, nor did it really work out with the audience because it felt a little rushed, didn't feel or organic, and didn't feel as natural as the MCU. But I like that they're doing these individual stories. They're letting these creators be creative. They're letting Todd Phillips make his own Joker film. They're letting David F. Sandberg make a Shazam. They're letting James Wan come back and do Aquaman and doing the sequel and so on and so forth. And we're getting so many great things. We got Wonder Woman 1984 coming later this year. We got the Batman coming next year. We got Suicide Squad. We got Black Adam. We got Shazam 2. We got The Flash. So the future's looking bright for the DC, and I couldn't be happier to see that they're finally getting their leggings, their footing under them, and having some creative directors come into the mix and making some pretty good films. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. All things spoilers. What did you like? What did you didn't like? What are you hoping to see in the future for this franchise? And let me know your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe. Follow me on all my social media accounts. Again, check out all my content that I have on my channel currently. Did a review over the weekend for the new Netflix show Lock and Key. Again, I did the Birds of Prey non-spoiler review. For those that watch TV shows on HBO, I did the latest episode review for The Outsider. And a lot of great stuff coming this week. So again, thank you all for the continued support. Give this video a thumbs up. Help me get to that 2,000 subscribers and continue to help this channel grow. Thank you all for watching this spoiler review, and we'll see you in the next video.